But you know, when you get yourself in that situation, the next day you're just down, you know, because of the effects of alcohol.
Pro boxing fans here with Johnny Nelson. Johnny, how are you, mate? How's things?
Right, thank you very much. First of all, can I just make something clear? I don't take the dirty white stuff. People saying Nelson's jaw's going. I'm seeing, I'm like, what are you talking about? So apparently that's a reference to somebody taking illegal substances. I don't do that nastiness. So get over yourselves and behave yourselves, people. I don't know that stuff.
First of all, I want to say...
high on life. I'm just high on life, that's what it is, so I'm just saying.
I do want to say, I did see you and said, listen, you're looking good, man. You're looking in good shape. All that stuff you're doing online, you're pushing people. Talk to me, man. Talk to me. What are you doing?
You know, healthy mind, healthy lifestyle. You know, take the gladness out of life. Praise him and appreciate what you've got. And some people don't want to go down that line. I do. So don't mistake my happiness for anything else. It's a zest for life.
Johnny, do you want to talk about the main fight while we're here? Chris Billam-Smith, Richard Riakporhe, they're running it back, man, once again. It was a good fight last time around, it was close. This time around, though, they moved on, they're very advanced in their careers. How's this fight going to play down for you on Saturday night?
I think it's a good fight. I think both fights have matured rapidly. On an official level, Richard Riakporhe has that I've done you once, I'll do you again. So he can be smug, he can smart, he can come out with his one-word answers, he can be cryptic, he can be whatever he wants. And for Chris, he's thinking that's the only guy that's beat me. That's the only guy that can say he's had the better of me, regardless if he agrees with the decision or not. So for him, you know, I just think it's a good fight. I think it'll well. I think for both fighters, this is going to be a dog. It's going to be a dog fight. It's going to be a dog fight. You got to look at how Chris negated his way through the fight with Lance Coley. That was a tough, hard night for work. He's proved he can go to the water. He can go to the well when it's dry and dig it out. Richard hasn't. We know Richard can go do it, but we've not seen Richard can do it. Saturday night's about him showing, look, tell us if you can do this or not, because you don't, you know, your opportunity to win a world title is gone.
I do want to talk about a fighter that's been calling out these guys and wants to collect all the belts. Riakporhe, I've been with him in Saudi recently, the last couple of times, and look, he wants these guys. If these guys do progress, whoever progresses on Saturday night, is that the fight you want to see these guys, see them in?
Listen, if you're a champion, your responsibility is to box all over the world and defend and fight whoever's out there. And if you really believe you're the best in the world, these are fights you've got to get involved with. End of. So this is the progression. This is the way forward. So you've just got to remember, if you're a champion and you believe you're the best fighter in the world, you've got to prove it. If the opportunity comes, take it with both hands.
Should we just carry this on? Can we carry this on after this, yeah?
Yeah.
Let's carry on. Go on, you've got to go. Cheers, mate. Pro boxing fans is picking this up. Johnny Nelson, you're a busy man, you're a man in demand, but let's talk about other boxing. You've covered this card. I do want your thoughts on Tyson Fury, and you've done the rounds now. A lot of people are sort of quoting you, we've quoted you as well, but how serious are you about this, that Tyson Fury doesn't make a comeback, that maybe there's no appetite there from Tyson Fury?
Yeah, in his head right now, he's feeling it, because people like me are saying it won't happen. As he gets closer to it, you'll have up days and down days. You know, the reality of the situation is going to kick in. Yes, you know, they're filming him staggering out of a club. That's no big deal. That's just, he's done it before. Many people have done it. But you know, when you get yourself in that situation, the next day you're just down. You know, because of the effects of alcohol and that lifestyle as a champion, a representation of a fighting sport, that takes a lot of that in your fitness. It's not a good rep. You look historically, you look at people like, I can go back as far as Randolph Turpin, when he lost to Robinson, when he beat Robinson, came back and he lived a life, he got drunk on his success, but that lifestyle affected him 6 to 4 days later when he lost to him. If you look at Sugar Ray Leonard, when he look at Roberto Duran, when he beat Sugar Ray Leonard, got drunk on his success, come back, you know, got turned over next fight. This situation, Tyson lost to Usyk. You know, if you're getting drunk, you're doing that kind of stuff in between the fight that's coming up next, it's going to have a detrimental effect on that. You know, this isn't common sense. And I've said to everybody, you know, Tyson needs somebody that's going to tell him what to do. Not negotiate with him, not have to kid him, cajole him. This is what we're doing. And Tyson's got to be in a position to say yes, no, yes. Don't question it, get it done. Tyson has the ability to beat Alexander Usyk, but I just don't think he has that circle around him that are giving him the right advice to use the best of his abilities. He's a fighting man. These are his words. It's rung out through his career. He's a fighting man. That means he's a better fighter than most fighters, but not a better boxer. There's a difference. Usyk showed he was a better boxer, and Tyson tried to fight him, his boxing his own game. Why do that? No, your style of fighting has got you so far. You look at his career and you just think, he looked in brilliant condition. And I was kind of disappointed seeing what I saw, but I'm thinking maybe he's having a last blowout before he's got to go back into training camp. I don't know. I'm just very doubtful that the fight ends up happening. I'm very doubtful because I think as long as Usyk's there, I'm just very doubtful he can get his head in that space. It doesn't matter what his people say about him. It doesn't matter how much they slag me down and say Nelson always talk. I don't care. I'm talking from a fighter's mentality and my fighter's point of view. They've never fought, so everybody has an opinion. But when it comes to this, their opinion doesn't really count.
Isn't the counter argument though? He's overcome a lot more adversity than a lot of other fighters. So why is this any different?
This has never happened to him before. Remember all the things that were said and done. These were out of his mouth. This boy's a boxing historian. Historically, this should never happen. He even quoted me saying, even Johnny Nelson, when he stepped up to everybody, this couldn't happen. How's this gap teeth jumped up middleweight going to beat me? Now he did that in a brutal fashion, and it was a tough, hard fight for him. So now, if you really believe that, that's your mindset. Now you're thinking, God, well, maybe what I believe, but what do I believe? What's right and what's wrong? You're going to be confused. There's nobody around him that you can talk historically to him and say, look, son, this can happen, that can happen. Now he's going to motivate himself to say, I can come back from this. He did everything right as far as he's concerned in training camp. Was in brilliant condition. So what is he going to change? Unless he's going to make a massive fundamental change to the mindset and the team, not just individuals, the team around him, to basically say, right, we're working for you, but right now you got to do what we're saying. We don't want to negotiate you. You can't wake up today and say, I don't feel like it. Get in that gym, get this thing done. Do this, do that, do this. He needs somebody to listen to, pay attention to, and respect. And if that doesn't happen, the same thing will happen all over again if the fight does go on. I know what he has to do. I know what he needs, a coach like a Dominic Ingle. I'm not saying Dominic Ingle, like a Dominic Ingle, if it's not Dominic Ingle, that takes no shit. This is what we're doing. And that's why I've got to give props to Dom, because when it came to fighting, like, this is what we're doing. You're not doing it out. Look how many times him and Kel, they parted company because Kel wasn't doing his whole out. Dominic wasn't about the money. He's like, this is my job. That's the kind of attitude, that's the kind of coach he needs in his ear. Not his dad, not others in the gym. He needs someone to say, right, I'm listening to you. Your word is my bond. You're my focus. You are my God right now for these 12 rounds. This is what he wants. And when you're a man of his wealth, his success, it's going to be hard to listen to someone that's on minimum wage.
Fair enough. I do want to talk about Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois. I spoke to Adam Smith 2 days ago, and he told me, listen, I've seen these guys spar, being around them when they were younger. I'm sure you've been around when, they were a lot younger. You were covering you on Sky, and Anthony Joshua was coming up. Did you ever see Daniel Dubois get to this point where he was going to challenge for world honours? I know he fought Usyk, but Anthony Joshua at Wembley Stadium on September 21st.
You know what, Daniel Dubois had to grow up in public, and which he has done. And I've been one of those guys that said, has this boy got the heart? Can he do it? Don Charles is not getting the credit he deserves. He's an amazing coach. He just needs the right materials to work with to get the best of him. And so when we see that from Don Charles will get the best out of him. Daniel Dubois, now he's got a chance to fight Anthony Joshua. You've got to remember all what Daniel Dubois has gone through, so has Anthony Joshua. So Anthony Joshua's worn the t-shirt, he's ticked a box, he's done everything. I think this fight, it's a great fight. Someone's heart's going to get broken. I think the heart is going to be Daniel Dubois. I think AJ hits too hard, too clean, he's too effective. So I think this is one of those fights where Daniel can't afford to get hit the way he gets hit. You can't afford to let the punches land away, especially against Anthony Joshua.
Just the final one. What do you make of Deontay Wilder? Obviously, we saw what happened with Zhilei Zhang, but did you see the decline from Deontay after the trilogy from Tyson being this evident?
Yeah, that he was finished then. He was finished. It was the case of the opponent getting in there. Deontay Wilder's separation from boxing. You saw that he looked old. Could you ever imagine that? And now when you're saying this about Tyson Fury, you're thinking, can you imagine it? He happens to every single fight. He happens to Mike Tyson. He happens to Ali. You know, we saw it with Deontay Wilder, who was the biggest puncher I've ever seen live. It's happening to Tyson Fury. You know, and when we saw it in front of our eyes with Deontay Wilder, we're disappointed. It's life. That's boxing.
Fair enough. Johnny, I know you've got to go, so I appreciate your time as always. Thank you very much. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Take care, mate.